Welcome! In this explainer, we're going to do a proper technical deep dive into the Review Accelerator. We're going to pull back the curtain on its architecture and really map out the exact blueprint for how you can automate online reputation at scale.
Okay, let's fire it up. System initialized. What I want you to do is imagine we're following a single little packet of data from start to finish. We're going to trace its entire journey, just to see exactly how this reputation logic actually gets deployed.
So, to really get how this all works, we first need to meet the key players in the tech stack. We're calling them the cast, and believe me, each component has a very, very specific role to play. So, every single interaction, it all starts right here, at the primary intake. Think of this as the system's front door. It's built as a REST API webhook, which makes it super compatible with pretty much anything. It's designed to grab those data packets instantly from a point-of-sale system or a CRM the second a transaction happens. Okay, so once that data packet is inside, it gets sent straight to the central database. Now, you can think of this as the system's memory. We built it on an Airtable relational schema. Why? Well, mostly for its flexibility and how fast you can develop with it. This is where all the customer info is stored, organized, and ready to be processed. And now we get to the really cool part, the brain of the whole operation, the logic processor. It uses a multivariable scenario to figure out what to do with that data packet. Now, the main thing it looks at is the star rating, that sentiment signal. But it can also look at other stuff, like customer history or how much they spent, to decide what to do next. This is truly where the intelligence of the system lives.
So for those positive reviews, the processor fires up this external endpoint. It's basically a public-facing bridge. It uses a Google Place ID to create this really smooth, frictionless redirect, guiding all those happy customers to go leave their feedback on public review sites.
But what happens with the not-so-great feedback? Well, that packet gets immediately rerouted right here to the internal Triage hub. This is a secure, totally private data capture interface. We actually call it the management vault, where that feedback can be handled internally, away from the public eye.
All right, so we've met our cast. Now let's see them in action. We're going to trace the logic flow step by step and see how all these pieces interact in a perfectly timed sequence. The whole thing really unfolds in 4 key stages. First up is ingestion. That's just the data entering the system. Then comes a pretty strategic temporal delay. We're usually talking 24 hours to make sure the customer experience is totally complete before we ask for feedback. The third stage, and this is the most critical, is the bifurcated path. This is where that logic processor checks the sentiment and chooses which road to take. And finally, verification, which just logs the whole interaction with a precise timestamp, closing the loop.
Okay, let's run a simulation. To really get the power of this bifurcated path, we're going to follow the journey of 2 totally different data packets. One with a positive vibe, and another one that, needs a little mitigation.
So, our first data packet comes in through the ingestion point. The logic processor reads what's inside and spots a high sentiment signal. We're talking a 4 or 5-star rating. This system is now primed and ready for a positive outcome. The processor's logic confirms that high rating, and because of that, boom! It unlocks the bridge to that public Google Place ID endpoint. The customer gets seamlessly guided to share their awesome experience with the world. Mission accomplished. Okay, now let's watch a second packet enter the system. This time, the processor detects a low sentiment signal, a rating somewhere between 1 and 3 stars. The system instantly recognizes this as a mitigation scenario. So, the logic instantly shuts down the public path. No redirect to Google, nope. Instead, this feedback packet gets sent directly to the private internal Triage hub. This triggers a high-priority notification for management so they can jump on it and start remediation right away.
The really crucial point here is to understand the huge operational lift this kind of automation gives you. For any technical manager, the goal is always to reduce friction and boost efficiency, and that is exactly what this system is built to do. This really shows the fundamental difference, doesn't it? On the left, you've got manual friction. It's slow, it's inconsistent, and it is so prone to human error. But on the right, you have automated logic. It's instantaneous, it's precise, and it is ruthlessly consistent, running 24/7. That right there is the key to real scalability. At the end of the day, this isn't just a workflow. This automated, bifurcated path is what lets a business go from being reactive to being proactive. It's really about building a system that delivers both scalability and just incredible operational efficiency.
And that brings us right to the core idea: systemic reputation through automated authority. It's about getting beyond just handling reviews and moving to a place where you have systemic control over your digital reputation. So the question this whole architecture forces you to ask is, how much manual friction are you really willing to put up with in your own system?
If you want to explore this architecture in more detail, or maybe see how it could be implemented for you, you can find a lot more information and resources over at businessgototo.ca